Good morning, folks. I hope everybody's doing great today, just like me. This is one of those exciting days because we have the opportunity to impact people's lives. When we talk about hiring people, that's going to be some of the greatest things we ever do. And we talk about the hospitality industry as, being hospitable, but really we're in the people industry. And when we talk about people, it's more than just a job sometimes. I've had the great fortune of being able to work with some wonderful people through 11 different states and a few different companies, and in doing so, I have a young lady that I had great impact with a few years back, and just to tell you a little bit about it, she was a girl I hired at 16 years old and troubled youth, and she did well for me, but she wanted, and we were in Reno, Nevada at the time, where to be a server you had to be 21 years old, and it killed her to wait 5 years to be a server, but she waited and waited and waited, and she hosted for me, and she was a good kid, and we went through a drug issue with her and got her through some rehab, and although I could have been fired for it, we took her in for a little while when she got kicked out of her house. And high school prom comes around and Kimberly shows up at the restaurant and says, "John, I need to take a picture with you and my date." Okay, I'm very flattered. And you feel really good because you're having an impact on somebody's life. And then, a little time goes by, she turns 21, she becomes a server and she's excited. And she hates it. So she tells me she's gonna quit. I'm like, 5.5 years we've been together and you're going to leave me now. Okay. So needless to say, I say, I want you to go back to hosting. And she goes, I can't make a living. I'm like, well, granted, minimum wage was $7.25 at the time, so it makes sense. I said, I'm going to pay you $15 an hour. And you're going to host for me. But not only going to host for me, you're going to help me with orientations, you're going to help me with interviews, I'm going to train you, you're going to be my basically office manager / host, and this is what you're going to do. Are you interested in doing that? And she said, absolutely. Kimberly did that for me for a while. And she ended up moving into management. Again, this is a young lady, barely finished high school because of being a troubled youth. Goes into management, does great things, and is doing good. Well, I left Reno, Nevada, and I went on to some other pastures. I don't know if they were greener or not, but I went there. And I go back to Reno, Nevada with BJ's Restaurant about 7 years later. And this young lady sitting at a table, and I walk by, I'm like, oh my God. And she goes, I heard you were back in town. Like, okay, a little creepy, but I still like you. And she goes, yeah, I needed to see you. And this guy walks up, she goes, I needed to introduce you to my fiance. And you're like, okay, this is really cool. Hallmark moment, I'm good with this. And she starts talking to me a little bit, and we catch up. And she goes, can you do me a favor? I'm like, oh, absolutely. She goes, can you come to my wedding? I'm like, sure. She goes, well, it's only a week and a half away. I'm like, I'll be there. And she goes, wow, that makes me so happy. And she goes, hey, can you have Jean and the kids come, my wife? And I'm like, oh, of course. And she goes, don't you need to call her? I'm like, not when I tell her Kimmy's getting married. And she goes, okay. And I'm going to cry in a minute, so just bear with me. But moments later, she comes up to me and says, will you do me one more big favor? And I said, absolutely. What do you need? She goes, will you give me away? So what I'm going to say to you right now is you don't know the impact you have on anybody, but every single day that smile matters. And in the hospitality industry, the people industry, everything we do matters. And every time you have contact with somebody, make it a good contact, because you don't know what that person's life is or what you can be making a difference for. But my investment in her turned out to be a young lady, just had a baby. Her son is named John Anthony after me. And, yes, it's like a storybook. I can't believe it. But I wake up every day of my life thinking if I could have that kind of impact again on somebody, it'll never happen. But I will never stop trying, because I think that's what we're here for every day, is to have the impact on people, whether it's our guests, our coworkers, or our employees. So please take this time, go out there, meet some great people, have some great interviews, and let's shape some lives.
Yes.